Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
hold on.
All right.
I gotta switch the
How are they doing?
speaker. No. Would somebody from the Zoom audience just pop off mute and say hi so I can make sure I have the right speaker attached?
Hi, Tara. It's Amy.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, you're all set, sir.
Okay. Hang on a minute. Town of Thompson Planning and Zoning Commission meeting is being called to order on April 3rd, 2024, in replacement of last March 25th meeting that was canceled. We have okay, now it's been called to order here, and it's 7:02. 7:02. All right. Call to order statement on the citizen comments, state your name and address. 3 minutes speaking time unless otherwise directed by chair. Please address comments to the chair in a civil and respectful manner. We will do the pledge of allegiance. Mr. Santos, would you graciously lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Santos. You're very welcome. Is Joe sitting in too?
He's on duty, so
Okay,
so,
I'm just asking.
yeah, so you're gonna be seating for Joe and seating for Mike.
Okay, let's see, is Mr. St. Ange in tonight?
He is online right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we'll have, Dave Popolowski sit in for Joseph Brody Brown. And, Jason St. Ange, you will sit in for Mike Krugel. That pretty much covers it.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. All right. We'll do the roll call and seating on all alternates. Start with you, Mr. Hill, please.
Alvin Hill, present. Russell Robin, present.
Jane Chelsea.
Ray Williams.
Ryan Santos. Randy Blacktop.
Ryan Kennard. Lisa Felstein.
And John B. Lanky. And Mr. St. Ange.
Jason St. Ange.
Thank you. All right. Mr. St.
You already
Ange.
did that.
Okay,
You're all set.
thank you. Okay, now we'll go to the next item on the agenda. And it's a public hearing for application PZ 2403, applicant Arthur Bruner, property owner Dudley Sand and Gravel, Delina and William Healy of 0 Rachel Drive, 83, block 57, lot 5, zone common residential district, CRD, 0.56 acres. Request a special permit for multifamily dwelling of 3 or more units in compliance with zoning regulation, Article 8, Section 275-8.2, number 7. I would like to make a motion that we take this application 2403 and move it be moved to the April 22nd meeting. Hang on a minute, sir. And Alvin Hill seconds it. We'll start with you, Mr. Popolowski. Yes or a no? Yes to move it, no to,
Yes.
okay. Mr. Canoia?
Yes.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Ryan Santos, yes. Ray Williams, yes.
Jane Chelsea, yes.
Russell Robin, yes. Alvin Hill, yes.
And John B. Lanky and Mr. St. Ange, please.
Yes, Jason St. Ange, yes.
All in favor, it's all,
Yeah.
okay, so. The application to any of the citizens that are here tonight, that the application 2403, which is Rachel Drive and everything has been moved to the April 22nd meeting. because of what transpired last week of the April, March 25th meeting. So, it's gonna be moved to the library because we're expecting a big crowd, so that's why we're doing it. So I apologize that for some of you people being here tonight because of this, but circumstances created this of last week till now.
Can I speak?
No, you cannot. No, sorry.
No, I
you
just
can't.
wanted a question on why it was canceled last week.
Oh, if you look at it, it says legal notice was posted incorrectly.
Okay.
Public hearing will open Monday, April 22nd, it was posted.
I didn't want to.
No, but
I was just curious why.
It's on the, thing there, if you grab one of them, it's right there.
Because we had a lot of people out front that came here and nobody knew it was canceled at all. It was,
Well,
it was posted that day that it was canceled.
Yeah, there wasn't much notice.
Right, there wasn't much notice.
It was, yes, you're right. I'm apologizing for that, but it was because of the circumstances, because it wasn't legally posted by Thursday of the following week.
Okay.
Okay, so
Mr. Chairman,
hang on a minute. So just to let you know, you can pass the word on to all the other people that are interested. Okay? Thank you.
At least it would still be at 7 o'clock.
Oh, well, it'll be 7 o'clock at the library. Okay,
So, John is correct, but, we knew the public hearing was not going to be held anyway, if and when we held, if we held a meeting on April 22nd, because the legal notice was not posted correctly. So even if you were here last Monday, we would not have had it because of the legal notice. That was the first error. The second error was, not publishing the agenda, so that's why we had to cancel the complete meeting. The process that will happen after this meeting is, again, the applicant will get a letter from me telling him he has to put a sign up 14 days before April 22nd, and then all the abutters will get another letter stating when and where the public hearing will be held. It will be held at the library. And due to, personal reasons, it just sort of, jumbled up together and a mistake was made. And, the staff, as part of the staff, I certainly apologize, take responsibility for that. And I apologize along with the chairman for any inconvenience it caused the neighbors. Thank you, Jim.
you're welcome. Go ahead.
I'm
Jane.
good.
I wasn't, it's just. No,
Well, you are on citizen comment now, but you just need
Well,
to clarify, you can't be on that item.
that's just what I was gonna say. Thank you. Good. You can't discuss anything on this item, but.
No,
once we go-
I didn't want to discuss any kind of item, just at
It-
what
it
point
doesn't
can I
matter.
ask a question
You can,
about the process?
you can ask that if you like.
Coming later?
In
Okay.
citizen
Good job.
comments, I'll gladly give you an answer.
Good, John. Yep.
Okay, all right, number 5 is, well, there is nothing to discuss, so now let's move to item 6, citizen comments. And like I read in the beginning, please address the chair and everything, and you got 3 minutes.
And your name?
And your name and address, please put a piece of paper right there,
No, it's all right, we have enough.
okay, all right. Whoever wants to speak, you can speak.
Is this on this parcel we're speaking of?
You can make any comment you want.
My question is Dudley Sand and Gravel even
Whoa,
still?
whoa.
Yeah.
That you just said. Dudley Sand and Gravel, you have to, make it a point that it's application 2403 with happens
So
to
application 2403, is Dudley Sand and Gravel even a business anymore? Why is
be.
that name listed? I understand the family is still the same family, but. I mean, it was from Dudley
The-
Concrete,
the-
Dudley,
they were
you
the-
probably know the history as well as I do.
The mother and father, his name is on the property, but Dudley Sand and Gravel is part of the family.
Well,
So it was under whatever was done up there was done by Dudley Sand and Gravel,
yes,
which is the difference.
many years ago.
Well, if you want to, hang on, Cynthia, so just wait. we really don't wanna talk about it that much tonight.
No, that's fine,
But the thing is that you have a right to express your opinion as a citizen, but we cannot answer a question, or what you're saying, okay? But
Alright. Well, good enough.
go ahead, Cynthia.
Just explain the application process. I put on the notice what is on the application. It's not my responsibility
Right,
to check to see if that's correct, so.
alright.
Thanks.
Anybody else, sir?
Okay, John. Wanted to get educated about, you were talking about legal notices, they only go out to abutters and no one else in the neighborhood?
Point of order, may I have your name and address
Oh,
for
I'm
the
sorry,
record?
Norman Deloria, Rachel Drive,
Deloria,
DESLAURIERS.
thank you.
All right.
He's always got a smile on his face. Go ahead, did you, sir?
So I was looking to get educated about, I heard about notices going out to abutters, and that's all that?
Within 200 feet of the property.
So anyone within 200 feet of the perimeter of the property, not just the butters?
Right, well, within 200 feet of that property, yes.
Right,
Yeah.
yes, so
And Matt Geo gives, prints out the list, and it's the applicant's responsibility to see that, make sure that that list is correct. It's, again, not our responsibility.
so when you say it's, who's Matt?
Pardon?
Who's Matt?
Map Geo.
Matt Geo.
Oh, Map Geo,
Yes.
oh, okay.
Gotcha.
So somebody, technology, so. Who is the person of the Map Geo?
Well, I print the list for them as a convenience.
That's convenient, so for them being the property owners,
No, the applicant, I print
the
the list
applicant,
for the property. I
okay,
print the list for the applicant. It is up to the applicant to take that list into the town clerk's office to double check the accuracy of lives within 200 feet of that property, abutting.
abutters or 200 feet, okay, perimeter. Okay, and you were talking about legal notices earlier. Can you educate me about what that, I mean, is it just something you post on the hallway here, or is it
Whoops.
something that,
Okay.
is on a website,
According to state statute,
Mhm.
when we have a public hearing, that public hearing has to be in a local newspaper 15 days before the public hearing, first notice. The second notice has to be in 5 days before the public hearing.
whose responsibility is that?
That is the responsibility of the recording secretary.
Okay,
Um,
so would the Thompson Times be considered the local
But what-
publication,
yeah,
and
but
would there
the
be
village,
anything
yes,
else?
That is your media to find your newspaper to find out the legal notices for the meeting.
Okay, so it would just be the Thompson Times
Yes,
and nothing else, okay.
Yes, that's the only one we go to because everything else is so expensive.
Yep.
And usually it'll be posted in the town hall. Right here.
The agenda is always posted on the
On-
bulletin board 24 hours. Our meeting's on Monday, so the agenda is posted on Friday in the bulletin board.
Mhm.
And I believe now, because of all these arrangements have been made with the office, the selectman's office, to put it on our sign outside when the next planning and zoning commission meeting is going to be held.
Okay,
We feel that is the best way now, as to give you people an idea of what's coming up. So the Monday before a meeting, it'll be posted at planning and zoning commission meeting, da 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 da. It could be here or it
yeah,
could be,
that's for the meeting itself, I was kind of more
right, but it's,
interested in the legal notice
all
and
right,
everything that's
If
spelled
that
out.
legal
so
notice
that's-
is one either not posted or posted incorrectly, we cannot conduct the public hearing. And that notice was published, but it was published incorrectly, and the incorrect, the mistake on it was, it did not have a date when the public hearing was going to be held.
Okay,
By the time I saw the first one, we were past the deadline date for the following
Make a
week,
correction.
so to make that correction.
and that notice is also on the planning and zoning website?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right.
The agenda, it would be on the planning website, on our website, on the agenda.
On the agenda,
Right.
the legal notice is part
Well,
of the
no,
agenda.
it wouldn't say legal notice, it will just, it's just on the agenda, what's gonna be going on.
Yeah.
So
Just
we don't get that far. unless-
Right, and that would be the same thing I would read in the newspaper.
Yeah, well, no, you would just read the items, you would read this agenda that you have in your.
Well, not the agenda, but the public hearing, like PZC 24-3. And then that paragraph that's here, that's what I would see in the newspaper.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah, like I said, I'm trying to get educated about
Yeah.
the process,
Yeah.
so thank you.
yeah.
Before we continue, Mr. Chairman, just the gentleman who had the first set of questions, what's your name and address?
Yeah,
I am Duquette,
Duquette,
2 Klondike Street.
thank
you
you.
did look familiar, you look like your father.
Oh, come on, stop. Cancel, okay.
Sorry about that, I should have thought of that, I'm saying,
it's a
"Gee, I
pleasure.
know him,
I know
Funny
your brother
lashes,
very well.
John.
I'll take 50.
So are your questions?
I always knew you would.
Yes, yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Anybody else would like to, go ahead, sir.
Bruce Leffler, LER, 54 Rachel Drive. I'm not sure if this is considered a question that can be answered, but it says it's a special permit for a multifamily dwelling. Okay. What is the current zoning for that area right now? Is it for single family or is that cannot be answered?
I'll put that in the hands of the CEO.
The zoning, which was changed in 2020, is all you need for that district that you're president of the inn, which is common residential district. All you need is 4,500 square feet of property to put a structure. Does not say, well, in this instance, because it's residential, it would be a home, residential home. But all you need is 450 square feet to.
4,500.
45.
4,500 square feet, of space.
So
And
it
you
could-
have to have your setback, the
so
setbacks,
It could be either multifamily or,
single,
okay, so why is this a special permit? What's that?
because the list of the zoning regulations, it says new. Then you go over to the chart and you say, if it says new multifamily, go to the chart and have special permit. We have different things, we have a zoning permit, we have a zoning permit with site plan review by the commission, and then we have special permit. And so they're in column to special permit for this type of structure for that district.
No. This is me being ignorant.
There's no such thing.
Well, no, I work with your father, so I.
And you know he didn't take any BS.
No, he did not, but he taught me a lot. I was always also under the impression that you needed a road frontage,
Yes, you do.
and this area, this right here does not have road frontage.
I think if we could continue this conversation any more than we get into.
I
the
think we need to
application.
stop it right here, sorry.
Oh, no,
Okay. Go ahead, you
I have a
got,
question. It kind of bases on Brendan Harney, 50 Rachel Drive.
yep.
Say.
No, whoa, slow down, slow down.
Brendan Harney.
Harney, thank you, that's all I need.
Kind of touches base on what he was starting to touch base on. You have an application here for a special permit for multi-dwelling housing. When there is other zoning factors involved, why are they not
We,
zoning?
we will not touch that question either, because that will be, let's put it,
But what I'm asking is, why isn't there a list of those to be, because there are special permits. You know, for the driveway.
again, sir, we will discuss this next month's meeting when it goes to a public hearing.
This better.
This month, the 22nd. This month, the 22nd.
I mean, this month is 22nd, I'm sorry.
You go a little further than I just want to know why it's not broken up, that's all. Why is it not, if you guys have zoning regulations and they're looking to extend on just more than one, that you're having an application for, shouldn't they have to have an application for every one of the zoning regulations that they're trying to proceed on?
Again, sir, we will give you a little better clarification at the end of the month on the 22nd at the library, because once it's accepted, we'll say, what's it, and it goes to public hearing. It's a no hold barred thing. Okay, that's the best thing. We cannot do that, discuss it. We can't even give any type of explanation. We kind of a little bit did tonight, but just enough, but we can't go any further. All right, and it's not to get all you guys all up in arms, but we have to kind
You
of.
do a good job of it.
Huh? But we have to stick to the protocol of this, you know,
If I may, Mr. Chair.
yes, go ahead.
So in a public hearing situation, that is a formal legal process, right? So anything that is specific to the application. This gentleman's questions were about the legal notice that could have applied to anything that happened. As soon as you start to talk about the specifics of the property involved, it's beginning to, and while I would agree that there might be some gray area in the question that you're asking, I think that all of us here probably think it's a little too close to that other line of discussing the specifics of the application, and therefore it would be more proper to discuss it at the public hearing.
I just want to apologize, because this is the first time I've been to one of these meetings,
It's
so I don't know so that's why I wasn't sure what I was gonna bring up could be answered.
And my
That's
father's
why I
talking to me right now,
brought it
and
up
telling
at the
me.
beginning before I did the question.
Well, you have yours was more general. so.
Yeah, but it's just the idea is that's the thing, okay? All right, so are there any more comment? Go ahead, sir.
You had mentioned about there was a zoning change in 2020
Yes,
for that. In general, when a zoning change is happening, do the abutters need to be notified that there's a zoning change on the docket?
I'm gonna
We
hand it
can.
over to our planner.
So for zoning changes that affect the entire community, and this was a part of, this was an overhaul of the entire book of code, essentially. There is no specific notification, like you get a letter, because it would be the entire town. So, but there are notice requirements, and there were public hearings. There were multiple public hearings, and there were multiple informal informational meetings.
Right, well, 2020 was the pandemic and
Right,
not in person and stuff, but because like you were talking about certified letters that had to go out now. So
Correct, that
so
applies.
does that apply also when there's a zoning change that all the abutters or within a,
It would apply if the
Proximity.
zoning change was applicable to a single property, then the same notice of, because an individual applicant from the community may make an application for a zoning change. And in that case, it's treated pretty much exactly like you would treat a special permit. It has the legal notice requirements and the abutters of the affected property. In this case, the revisions that occurred that
2020.
in 2020 was the entire book of code. So it was all districts, every property in town. There is no specific
Okay.
certified letter to abutters, because again, then you're sending them,
The entire
you're sending
town.
thousands of letters. It's
Right,
an
okay.
impractical.
I just didn't know if
The
that zoning
statute
change-
requires that we notify through newspapers, through a public hearing process. And we did the additional informational meetings at the time.
Okay.
And we do have an annual update to the regulations that we go through, and that will also have a public notice period, so.
So the zoning change, basically, it wasn't just a property. It was-
Correct.
It was townwide
Correct.
and everything. So that's explained, that answers my question as far as when she mentioned that there was a zoning change in 2020.
It was not
It
specific to
wasn't
the
specific
parcel
to
in
that
question.
property, it was a townwide for all property.
Correct.
All right.
Asked and answered, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Blackmer?
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's, what triggered the special permit is multifamily, more than 3 houses requires a special permit. This is a multifamily house. here.
Right, in a residential and single family neighborhood, correct. Mhm.
So that's what triggered it. It wasn't, oh, that was the trigger on it.
Well, my question was kind of in regards to the zoning change back in
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
What's the notification process? And it's not abutters or within a 200-foot perimeter, it's a townwide thing, so that did answer my question.
I would also
Thank
invite
you.
any member of the public at any time who has questions about the zoning regulations in general, not in the case of the specific parcel while we're waiting on the public hearing, but general questions about the zoning regulations. You're always welcome to come and see me in my office, call me, email me. I'm sure Cindy would say the same. That's part of our role. There's things that are not where the public meeting citizen comments area is not the most effective way to get the information, but we are town employees, so we can always answer questions in the office.
And I suggest you do that going forward, is to contact both of our staffers, and that's what they're here for. I like to do one thing, I would like to, and I apologize to Kaiser. Hang on, anybody put their hand up over
Yeah,
here?
Valerie.
Hang on, Valerie. I wanna,
7:15.
7:15, Kaiser came in, she's gonna replace Mike Kruger. We got that there?
No, you already.
No, you
placed-
I
already
mean-
seated. You already seated
Seated.
Jason for Mike.
Who's,
It's Jason for
You
my.
seated Jason for Mike, you seated Dave for Joe. So
So we're set.
Kaiser's attending but not seated.
okay,
Yeah.
apologize,
That's all right.
I'm missing,
That's
I thought
okay.
I'm missing somebody.
But thank you for noting that she came in at 7:15.
I'm not
Okay.
offended.
Trying to.
Valerie's up.
Valerie, you have the mic.
Valerie Clark, Elm Road. Just a couple things. One is, there was a reference to the Thompson Times. I think you mean the Thompson Villager? I think the Thompson Times is an old mnemonic.
Yeah, you're
So-
right.
Yep, and then the other thing I just want to bring up, since it was raised in another citizen's comment, that many times in these planning and zoning meetings, I have brought up the question of whether, when an application is made by a business, whether the town checks to make sure that that is a legal entity. And I would really advise the Planning and Zoning Commission to make that a policy. Thank you.
To your thing, Valerie, you're saying business, anybody that wants to do a business, well, business is what we need to look into? Is that what you just said?
If you're running a business, you need to be registered with the state of Connecticut. I can't just fill out an application and say Valerie Clark Inc. and have that be my business, but I could with the Planning and Zoning Commission, because nobody checks to see if I'm really running a business. That's all.
Okay, thank you for that comment, Valerie. Anybody else in the house? The Zoom house?
You're clear?
Okay, we're clear. Now we'll move on to the next one. And number 7, approved minutes. Of
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
February 26th, correct, thank you. I was just looking for that.
I'll second that.
Randy, you made the motion and seconded by Ray. Do I hear any comments on it? Anybody got any misspelled words, out of place paragraph? Hearing none. We will start with a vote. Mr. Hill, you will lead, please.
Alvin Hill, yes.
Russell Robin, yes.
Jane Salsa, yes.
Ray Williams, yes.
Randy Blackman, yes.
Ryan Norrie, yes. Dave Paulski abstain.
Mr. St. Ange,
You're on mute, Jason.
Jason Sinach, yes.
thank you. And John B. Lincoln, yes. It's unanimous. Okay, number 8, move on to 8, applications received. First one is P and Z application 2408, Robert Cassin, property owner C Realty LLC, 347 Riverside Drive, map 87, block 51, lot 4, zone TCDD. Request special permit for a used car dealership and auto repair location according to zoning regulations. Article 11.275-11.2, number 9, and Article 4.275-4, A, B, and C. Do I, Mr. Santos?
Motion to accept the public hearing on Monday, April
I'll second that.
Okay. Brian, And Jane. Any discussion? Mr. Williams?
I have a question about that. On email today, it says that this is coming up in front of the appeals board on their next meeting, and I was just wondering.
Hang on, go ahead, finish, go ahead.
I was just wondering why it would be going in front of the appeals before it comes to us.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Okay, can I answer that question?
What, hang on a minute, Mr. Santos, I heard. Okay.
Myself.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Okay, so
Cynthia.
the process to get a certificate of operation is to go through the plan out to the zoning board of appeals. So if we took 2 months for this gentleman to go through the planning and zoning commission. One, to accept the application, the second is to have the public hearing, then after that's over. Then he's gonna wait another 2 months to accept an application for the ZBA and then go for a public hearing to the ZBA, so that's a 4-month process. So cut it down to 3 months. You guys accept it. April, you have your public hearing. And, excuse me, April, my mind is all mixed up because of the mess up of the date. So you will have your public hearing in April. So the ZBA meets in April, so why can't we accept the application in April so they can have their public hearing in May? And then he's cut down to three months. And after he gets his certificate of approval, then he applies to the motor vehicle department. We know how many months that takes. So we're just trying to cut it short for the applicant. And isn't that why you made these zoning regulations, to make it easy on the applicant? So they don't have to jump through so many hoops.
I
If
think
you
the
guys
issue is
say
that they're not
no-
actually going for a variance, it's because the zoning
It's
board
not a
of appeals.
variance, it's a certificate of operation, and that's what the applications, that's what the description says, certificate of operation.
That's usually is the set, you'll be next. That's usually the process, is they gotta go to the ZBA.
Exactly, that's the
to
legal
get that.
process.
Yes or no to get the application into the registry to run a more, repair business and
Right.
sell cars or
Right,
whatever.
and what I will tell you is the state of Connecticut had passed a bill a couple of years ago that stated if the zoning board of appeals decides that they want to relinquish that decision to the CEO, they can do that now according to state statute. It does not have to go through the zoning board of appeals for certificate of operation. I've never addressed it with them because it's not a big issue in our community. So I just, said, we'll just keep it,
Keep the process.
here, keep it as it going. Obviously, if one of them mentions it and says, hey, let's address this, yes, we will address it according to the state statute that was passed 2 years ago. So we're just trying to, so if you guys, if for some reason it comes out negative, well, then they don't have to go any further. They don't get the certificate of operation if you guys say no. But it's just to cut it down for 1 month.
I'm in favor of that.
Pardon?
I'm in favor of that.
Mr.
That's
Santos.
a good explanation. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just didn't know that they had to go to zoning board of appeals,
Yeah.
keyword appeals, to get a.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
that's
that's
We-
not,
we-
That's
yeah,
their board, but
Yeah.
if you read the regulations, they have 3 duties: appeals, variances.
Okay.
We went through that process, was it over a year ago with Bates Auto Parts, when the people that were in the process, they tried to buy it, but because there was some legalities going on, they still had to go to the ZBA.
And while we're on the subject, when we do our zoning review, you need to change what it says in the ZBA. Did not pick that up either. It should say in there, it's a certificate of operation.
yeah,
That,
that makes it a little bit.
and it does not
yeah.
say that in the regulation. It says motor vehicle
Yeah.
applications. But it doesn't, and it should say certificate of location.
So put that in a note,
Yes, it's in my notes.
big letters.
Yes.
I'm expecting to get.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why would you guys get the email? You're not in the ZBA.
Because I get the
It's from the town.
the automatic,
Yeah, the update from the town.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, okay, yeah.
so when I got that and I read that, and then I seen, I know it was on our.
Right.
It was just-
Yeah,
He's right, I mean.
yeah, of course,
Okay, I get it.
yes.
Is there any other discussion on this matter? Hearing none. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Popolowski.
Cindy, just before it goes to public hearing, so this little site plan that they got drawn up,
it says clear used dirt road to park surplus parks cars. Is that like the only description we have this whole? Of this whole intention of use for this property?
Because the property is already existing, it doesn't need to do a survey on it, that would be your decision as to whether you would allow them.
Cause there used to be the old tire, DNR tire.
Yeah, no, I'm
And-
familiar with the location.
yeah.
I just didn't know.
And or you could put conditions on it, take a walk up there, see what it looks like before the public hearings.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome, Mr. Popolowski. Any other discussion? If not, we'll put it to a vote. That was you, Mr. Popolowski.
David Poplowski, yes. Ryan, no, yes.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Ray Santos, yes.
Ray Williams, yes.
Jane Saucer, yes.
Russell Robin, yes. Alvin Hill, yes.
John B. Linky, yes, and Mr. St. Ange.
Jason St. Ange, yes.
Thank you. All right, accepted. Now, the next one is P and Z application 2409-09. Applicant Strategic Commercial Realty Incorporated, DBA Rawson Material Applicant. Property owners Lynn Rawson Landry and Cheryl Jane Poche. 0 Aquatic Town Farm Road, map 145, block 14, lot 14, zone RRAD, gravel operation renewal permit, zoning regulation 2012, article 9, section 5, F-1.
Madeline Smith is on Zoom, so if you have any questions, I went out to see the property, took a picture of it.
Can I,
It's absolutely beautiful.
get a motion and then?
No,
Thank you. Do I hear a motion? If not, I'll make the motion.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we grant a renewal to PZ application 24-09 to Strategic Commercial Realty.
Sorry,
Was that Randy?
yes.
Okay, is there any discussion on it?
I'm just-
Any,
Just one question.
Any discussion?
One discussion.
Or. What do you call the word I'm looking for? Go ahead. Can't get it past my tongue.
Cindy, I know it's grandfathered in, is the current cost to the town, that's not part of the grandfathered in for the pre-existing regulations, right? The new cost, whatever it is
It's
per.
minimum is $250.
No, the
Cents per yard, is that what
yeah,
your
cost per yard.
Cost
yeah,
per yard.
Call out, so
Yeah, so the cost per yard came under the $250, so we started with $250 because it's minimum $250.
the ongoing,
250 is what?
The minimum that you pay under the current regulations
So they-
for the gravel operation.
for the permit,
Pardon? For the permit, yes.
I'm talking about the ongoing, like, per cubic yard they call
Yeah,
out,
so.
the whatever 17 cents or.
Yeah,
the
it was
7
0.02 cents. So that
Oh, we got
0.02
that.
cents came out to less than the minimum $250. So I charged $250 because that's the minimum for a gravel operation now.
Because that was grandfathered in, that two.
That's not even what I'm asking.
Yeah.
I'm not asking about the permit fee, I'm asking about as they haul
Per
out
Per yard.
$0.02, yes.
0.02.
Yeah,
That's what,
0.02.
so that's the current rate.
No,
No,
that's.
That's
the
the rate under which
grandfathered
they were
Yeah,
permitted.
That's the
So it
grandfather
doesn't,
rate,
okay,
right.
so it doesn't,
And they
I get
get
it.
that because they're grandfathered in, correct?
Right, exactly. Yes. Yes.
okay,
Yes.
just wanted to clarify it. Thank you.
Okay, you got that?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Is there any, not recommendations, concessions, what else you want?
No,
Okay,
no.
all right. Any other, Mr. Hill?
Well, looking at,
the map here, and all I see is a pond.
Yep,
What's that?
There won't be any further gravel.
Oh, yeah, it's behind the pond. It's, if you can see in a picture. How many pictures like, oh, there's on the other side.
Site location.
This is the color 2 is beyond the pond, and that's the rest up there.
that's on,
That tile there.
if you're looking from the road, you
Right.
can see the pond, you're looking, now you look past the
Way
pond,
down. And that-
behind the pond is where
Right.
the.
Yeah.
It's almost next to where they're doing that other little screening of asphalt and crushed concrete is not too far from that property.
No, that's way on the other side.
That's-
You got the field.
But it's not too far, but there's a field or something in
Right.
between, yes.
Right.
There's like a soccer field there.
Yeah, you got Thompson property, then you got Putnam where the soccer field is, and then you got their operation.
Correct,
left
Bunyan
of the
Road.
Soccer field,
On my-
and this is right at the end there.
Yeah.
So you might wanna ask Madeline, how much longer they feel they're gonna be there. She's here to speak for the application.
You are willing to speak, Ms. Smith?
Of course. Good evening. So we are hoping to wrap it up this year. If you look at that map, the south side of the property near the Putnam property line, that little knoll is really all we have left. And then we will be calling Cindy to come out and do a final check. But it's pretty much reclaimed because it's a pond. So we're hoping to wrap it up this year. We just couldn't get it done before the end of the season last year.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
You're
Anybody-
welcome.
Anybody else? Okay, we'll put it to a vote. Mr. Hill.
Alvin Hill, yes.
Russell Robin, yes.
Jane Salsi, no.
Ray Williams, yes.
Frank Santos, yes.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Ryan Canary, yes. Dick Plusky, yes.
Mr. St. Ange,
Jason St. Ange, yes.
John D. Lincoln, yes.
Passes 9-1.
9-1. 2-1. Okay,
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Number 9, reports of officers and staff. A, budget, you're up, Mr. Canoia.
So, give a quick rundown of the current budget. Basically, what we're looking at is a month over month change. So the available budget is currently $13,444.66. That's as of 3/27. That compares to the prior month of $18,796.54. We've used up a total of 64.9% of the available budget relative to 51% in the prior month, ending February. Year-to-date expenditures are currently $24,911.34 as of 3/27 versus $19,559.46. This does reconcile the month over month change, down $5,351.81. I may add, there were 2 events that occurred since the last meeting. First was the CLCC event on Saturday, 3/23. The costs are being reallocated to the professional services category, and they'll be removed from the other meetings and fees category, which was currently stated on the sheet that I received from -405. So what that'll do is that'll bring professional services to a total of $2,045. The second event was the Aqua Turf Country Club event for planning and zoning. That event was on 3/28/24. It was a Wednesday. 4 of the P and Z commission members did attend. We paid $70 a piece out of pocket. And at this time, we could discuss potential reimbursement for attendees, or we could continue to just keep the money out of pocket for attending, depending on the will of the commission. And that is my report.
Thank you, Mr. Canoia.
You got the bills in your packet, right? Copies of the bills of some budget A and B. So the ones being reimbursed is the Connecticut Federation of Planning and Zoning members for a total of $280.
And just to add to that, not to that, but that was to me, was a very fruitful thing to go to, especially about with the Airbnbs that are going on and what's going on in Preston, Connecticut, but it's something that I think we should get that information, and that should be, Cynthia will take care of that as soon as I give her all the information to contact that person and everything. So now I leave it up to, excuse me, go ahead,
I
Mr.
move the attendees be reimbursed.
I'll second that.
Meetings.
Mr. Blackman makes a motion to reimburse the participants. Jane Salsey seconds it.
And that's to reimburse for the
So-
second one,
Yes, the,
Connecticut Federation of Planning and Zoning.
yes,
Which side am I?
70 apiece. So before
280.
280.
Left off the
Let
list.
me see that.
Huh?
I was left off the list.
The
Because you paid out
585
of
is
pocket.
for
You paid
the,
Like, I could get
for the
rid of it.
You can, you
CLCC.
haven't
They,
asked
that's
for it
that,
yet. Just submit it to me.
Mr. Canoia,
Yes.
Mr. Hill, the 585 is for the
CLCC event was the
Okay.
585, to be clear, and the 280 that is being discussed was for the AquaTurf statewide.
It was
planning and zoning
last
event.
week, Thursday,
Two separate events.
2 separate events.
So again, to be clear, the 585 has already been deducted from the budget. The only person who hasn't been reimbursed is Mr. Santos, because he did that on his own
Oh, thank
his
you
own
for
card
Yep.
and had not yet asked for reimbursement. So if you would like reimbursement, Mr. Santos, now is your
Will.
moment.
I would move that Mr. Santos be reimbursed for the CLC.
Have enough money, Brian?
I'll second that motion. There's a, how many
Okay.
motions are out there?
Well, you haven't voted on the
I
first
Well,
one.
we haven't
So
voted on
you
the
either
first
need
one.
to amend the first motion.
No, we'll make it separate.
Okay.
So that it's all inclusive.
Oh,
Jane,
okay.
do you?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
You got
And I'll
that?
even put Brian in
do.
there. Yeah, I know, you're so welcome.
No, don't cry, please.
Just got sucked into donuts for next meeting.
All right. Motion by Randy Blackmore, seconded by Jane Salsey. Any discussion on the amendment? I gotta, can you read that again, please?
Reimbursement for the 2 meetings.
Yes,
Thank you.
make it simple, thank you, Randy.
All right, thank you. I was gonna give the whole long list.
Yeah, make it simple.
I want to get home before 10.
Yeah.
No, that's Jane's fault. That's who you think. Okay. That is done, so no other discussion or whatever. We'll start with you, Mr. Dave Popolowski.
Yes. Dave Poplawski, yes.
Ryan Canoia, yes.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Yes.
Ray Williams, I'd like to vote yes for him and abstain on myself because the money would be going to me, so I think I should abstain on that.
I don't think you
No,
can
no.
abstain on half of
You
that.
can't.
on half of it.
Yes,
Jane said the yes.
Russell Robin, yes.
you know.
Mr. St. Ange,
Jason St. Ange, yes.
John B. Lankey, yes,
Passes unanimously.
unanimous. All right. Okay, we got those 2 items out of there, or 3. Now we're on to our favorite person, the planner.
Oh, thanks. While we're still on the topic of particularly the CLCC conference, we had great attendance. 9 of us, including myself, went on a horrible weather day. I again thought that it was a fantastic conference with a lot of really good information. Everybody seemed to enjoy it that day. You guys should all know that Amy forwarded me an email from the presenter for the workshop on the ADA accessibility for trails, actually praising the comments that were received from Thompson's planning and zoning representatives. And I spoke to Amy Peterson, who is the executive director of CLCC. She was really quite stunned that we had such a strong representation from a planning and zoning commission, since that's really set up for land trust. Yeah, oh, they definitely noticed. They are very pleased to see this kind of municipal representation. So I expect we will get that notice again next year. So keep it in your minds.
I have a question on that one.
Yep.
Now, the first CLCC was back in November, right? The one that was in Hartford that you were at?
That was in January.
January.
Same organization, obviously a different event, and there may be a follow-up to that, but I'll keep you guys
Okay,
posted.
appreciate it.
So
Do we get more brownie points if more people go?
maybe, maybe. We, it's always good to have municipal brownie points with the conservation organization. So that was the CLCC conference. I handed around and I think everybody got, and if you didn't, I'll give you a copy. It's two double-sided pages with, the rolling list of proposed revisions to the zoning regulations for our annual update. I did not distribute it before the meeting because initially there was going to be the public hearing and I didn't want to gum you guys up with it. So there's nothing here really to discuss tonight, just to keep it on your radar. I think at next month's meeting, we probably should start setting the special meetings to
Yeah,
discuss.
Yeah, not discussing it next time, but setting it, yeah.
Correct, because we do that in the subcommittee meetings, which is a much more effective forum.
Is this your whole review list?
No, this is where I am.
Oh, okay. Good.
I do not
You
accept.
didn't catch up with it.
Yeah, this is where I am based on what we've discussed. So right now, there are 1, 2, 3 topics that, for one reason or another have risen to the top. The one is based on our conversation, Cindy, which is how to address changes of uses within districts. We discussed it last month because there's ambiguity as to how much leeway Cindy might have had. So this is a way to get it into the general provisions that clarifies when she can use her discretion on a change of use as opposed to bringing it to the commission. The other is the joint tenant signs, which of course came up because of the proposal for the commercial property. And then the bulk of it is the sample regulations for lighting standards for development, which was based on the model regulations that were distributed. I don't even remember which organization it was, honestly. We know that that's in discussion at the state level, so this is a chance to get ahead of it and possibly adopt something locally. I have no dog in this fight. You could choose to take it or leave it, but this is pared down considerably from what was sent by the state, and I think limits it to types of uses that the commission has felt more comfortable regulating more directly, for example, commercial versus single-family residential. So just stuff to keep in mind. And again, at the next meeting, I think we should start looking at dates to set a subcommittee meeting. And then the last thing came up just today, thanks to our good friend Kai's Orr. Kai's called me this morning to ask about possibly planning and zoning sponsoring, meaning hosting a forensic debate team, a forensic debate event from the students at Killingly VOAG. So she connected me to Bethany Knowlton, who is, I believe, the faculty advisor for the ag program down there. And I have reserved a room at the library on Thursday, the 26th, the last Thursday of the month at 4 o'clock. They just the 29th is the Monday, so it's whatever the last 25th, thank you. So it is a classic forensic debate. They have a student team who will take the resolved and the positive for solar development on agricultural land, and a team that will take the negative. And they are required to do 5 units in front of audiences and take questions after their presentation.
And from, so they have 5 ways to present, and then they go to the state in June to present, and then if they win state, then they go to nationals in Kentucky.
Yeah, so it's a chance to support the students there. So I would encourage you guys to attend. I reserved the room starting at 4 o'clock on that Thursday.
And they had a whole the whole dry erase board was filled with various issues. They had narrowed it down to mental illness or mental health, and solar panels on farmland, and they went with solar panels. Cause how can you fight against mental illness or health? So it's, you know,
It's a touchy subject.
that's a touchy subject. So they ended up going with solar panels, which I think is a very strong, you know, I mean, I get, you know, solar panels can be uncertain, but I don't think taking up open space is you know, on farmland. So I know Woodstock has, Fairview Farms has a very strong view on this. So I will make sure that they attend. And I know Woodstock, a lot of Mark Blackmer, your son, I know wants to attend. So-
Yeah, so,
I have a question.
definitely
It's only
encourage
supposed to last a half hour or so, right?
15 minutes or so, yes, a half an hour. Well, the presentation is 15 minutes. And then from there, the questions can be as long as,
As an hour.
yeah.
I reserved the room for 2 hours just to, so that we don't get run
Kicked
short,
out.
but yeah, it'll probably be an hour.
My thought
Yes.
was whether, we could do that like a half hour prior to our next P and Z meeting. I don't know how many people are gonna be free to come in at 4 o'clock Thursday afternoon for half an hour or
Yeah.
45 minutes.
Yep.
And then go home versus coming in a half an hour early for our next meeting. And
I have no objection to presenting that to them. I will point out that your next meeting is
full schedule. I
gonna be a
understand.
doozy.
What, why can't we,
Oh, yeah.
can we
Yeah,
still,
next meeting.
would say like 6 o'clock to 8 be enough
I
time?
I can ask
I'm
her if she
just-
can push it back.
They don't,
Yeah.
this is only supposed to take 15 minutes of the date time, and then you leave 15 or 20 minutes for questions.
The discussions and.
Yeah,
Because it would give them two opportunities instead of one, so that would, because they're trying to hit 5, right? So,
Well, no, they're only gonna get one opportunity with us regardless.
Right.
The
So just
question
move it to
is,
6.
do we move it to a different time? I can ask her
my,
that.
my concern about 4 o'clock is, I'd just be curious, how many's
gonna show up
at 4 o'clock in the afternoon for?
No, I agree.
Fine, that's fine.
But isn't that, didn't you say Thursday?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Thursday.
But they,
But our meetings aren't on Thursday, they're on Monday.
No, we're across.
You're-
Randy had suggested them coming instead of on a Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Coming in
okay, I
a
got
half
you, I
hour
got you, I
before.
got you. Yeah.
So, yeah,
To piggyback with us.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'd rather come for.
Yeah.
Knowing that I was gonna have to spend an extra hour
Come early here and do
Yeah.
it here.
rather than come twice, and furthermore, I hope I'm too damn busy to think about coming at 4 o'clock.
Well, you might be busy
Well,
figuring out.
yeah, rainy weather like this, I'll have plenty of.
I can definitely ask her if she can make the switch and I'll offer her both opportunities and just get back to you.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say you guaranteed it was gonna be a rainy day.
I'm good, I'm not that good.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
Any more questions for the planner? What's going on?
not a question, but more of a statement. That CLCC event, I wanted to reiterate what Kira said. I think it was an excellent format. I personally learned a lot, and I think everyone that attended did as well. And I think that we had a really strong showing as a town, and we showed our commitment to farmland preservation, which I think is one of the purposes of our planning and zoning commission for the
Well-
town, 'cause that's why we were elected, right?
The other thing you just mentioned, we also should add in, what's it, the ADA thing there with the conservation and everything about the trails and all, including, I'll tell you what, that lady blew me right out of the water, the way she, for the handicap, and she had two people out hand, one guy was blind, the other, the young lady was, young.
She was deaf.
I was just gonna get to that, thank you. She was deaf, but I'll tell you what, she participated very well, and it was interesting. So.
Well, it was the leader of that workshop who sent the note to Amy about how impressed she was with Thompson. So kudos to you guys for sure.
The question that I have is, well, I was getting to the question, sorry, should we have this stuff made available to the public? Some of the notes or some.
That ain't a bad idea.
Is that something that we should? as a
I haven't
commission-
received any of the slide decks and stuff, and I actually didn't grab one of the
It
thumb
was on
drives.
it was on.
I can't,
the
I gave it to
Okay.
Cindy.
well,
USB.
Cindy can give it to you, cause,
if you guys want me to post some of that stuff on the website, I can.
That would be great. So
Sure.
at least the people out there.
Yeah,
Mr. Is that, you know, now they can see that what we're trying to do and, you know, get the public educated a little bit better. So it shows that we're trying to do what's right, due diligence.
Yeah, we attended an event and we could share some information, make it more transparent to the town. I think that might go a long way.
Sure.
I think that's a
I
good
will
idea.
grab that thumb drive back from Cindy and see what is suitable for public.
Thank you guys for ordering.
Yes,
Excellent,
yes,
excellent. program.
very excited. So we went to nationals 11 years ago. We had a team. They haven't had a team in 11 years.
Oh.
So for this to be,
Well, we'll give the support.
I know, you should. It's your future.
Yeah, if I get the bid lift to be 151, yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
That's all I'm shooting for. Anything else to bring up to the planner or discuss? If not, we'll move on to the other young lady in this group. The,
I just need to report that, for the next two, planning and zoning commission meetings, as we already announced, 4/22/24, it's going to be at the library, it's room 2. And, that section is, will hold the capacity that we feel that is coming plus. Your PZC meeting on May 20th, 24, because there's a budget referendum that day, we will have the meeting in the library room.
So the
The
next two
meeting
meetings
room.
will be in the library.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting to.
May 24th.
May 20th,
24th,
remember
yeah.
you had to change the meeting at May the
Yes,
20th.
yeah.
So it's at the library and it's in the meeting room. And, at this time, we feel that's, sufficient enough.
Do we have to?
Yeah.
Make a motion to?
Oh, yeah, if you want to make a motion to change the
No.
meetings,
It's
that
May
would be up to
20th.
you guys. And
All right, I
don't
was just
have a
asking,
choice,
every
I'm
time
gonna
we
be
make a
here.
change on a schedule or something, we gotta go through
Like-
another, whoop,
Oh, yeah,
whatever. If you feel it's
that's the first,
appropriate, it's okay, as
yeah,
far as I'm concerned.
yeah, it's already been cleared with the,
Yeah.
with the planning, with the, selectman's office.
Okay,
The other thing I want to announce, there was a little confusion since we did the codification of the planning and, the planning and zoning regulations. We had, when we put it on the codification, I opened the codification site when I was researching, because it was so easy to bring up. And then one day, when somebody I was talking to said, well, that's not the numbers I have, and so I know what you're doing. We had the old set of regulations on our web page too. So people who are looking for the regulation probably would just go to that column, oh, zoning regulation, not know anything about the codification. And so I asked Tara to please change it and make it uniform so that wherever you go, you get the codification regulations.
people.
So when you read my numbers I give you, it's right there online.
Because people have been calling you and you were getting confused.
Yes, yes,
Cause,
yes.
cause nothing was changed.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
My other, I would like to make a comment to Valerie's suggestion for the staff to check businesses when they apply. I think that is a great idea, except you don't have enough staff to do that. So what my suggestion is when they come in with the business, that we put in some type of requirement that they bring proof, legal proof of their business with the application. If we perhaps even put that on our application, legal proof of business attached.
should it be done?
Because there is no way, and it's very interesting she says that because, for a few weeks, I'll be the interim wetlands agent. And I was working with, Marla the other day, and she said, oh yeah, you have to check to make sure this is a real business. I went, I have to check to make sure it's a real business? Who has time to check? You walk in, you have an application, you trust people on that application. If they're wrong, then it's on the applicant. But she checks, it's like, okay, whatever. So that's my suggestion to the board, is we change our application and say, if you have a business, I need legal proof that you have a business. And
Makes
this
sense.
way, the onus is off us.
So that
Back
is
on
the
the
language
applicant.
that you're gonna wanna add to this
Yeah,
rolling. draft.
exactly.
Okay.
exactly. Do you guys think that's a good idea? Ladies and gentlemen.
It'll be,
all of it off of you
Yeah.
and anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a full-time job, that would be one thing. This is
Yeah.
part-time.
It absolutely makes sense. I do
Yes.
think that, you know, at least I know I'm able to look up LLCs pretty quickly and figure out what's real and what's not.
okay, you're the secretary, we'll nominate you.
Yeah.
How's
I
that?
think, no, I think the
Yeah, it's not
business
really-
person has to bring in proof.
Yes.
That
Agree.
simplifies all of it. They have to prove. And
If
that
they
way
want
none
this-
of us have to do it.
If they want this business, they should.
Yeah,
Yep.
put the onus on them. Yeah, put the onus on them.
Thank you for that support.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
yeah, got the regular copy, paper copy.
Yeah.
And everything, that would be good, so it stays on file, so it's there, so nobody
Right.
can.
Right, like, it's like if a gravel operation comes in, they give us their proof of business when they apply and when they renew, we have that on file,
Right,
so.
okay. And I have,
But- So
go ahead.
I'm just. This pertains to a property owner who they already own the property. It's in a business name, so they have to come in and reprove that they own the property under the business still, or I'm just not clear on what we're trying to
That's
accomplish.
That's what Marla does upstairs, with that, excuse me,
Hang on.
that is what the
Hang on.
inland and wetlands
Hang on.
agent does
Gotcha.
upstairs. And I suppose the new one, when they hire someone permanently, that person will be doing the same thing. But I was just shocked when we were going over an application, because, you know, she's working with me for about 8 hours. You know, to work on up there until we hire somebody. So I was just shocked. I said, why would you have to do that? You know, it's like, and she said, yeah, that's what we do.
But they already own the property.
Well, yeah,
It's just in there. It's in this, it could be a former business name, but it's just listed
but
on the
she
property.
still has, she looks it up. Yes, they own the
Yeah,
property, and
yeah.
she looks it up and makes sure that they own that business. Yes. And
Okay.
I was blown out of the water about it, so.
Yeah,
But again, Valerie made the suggestion, I was like, hey, fine.
Well, it's a good suggestion.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah.
it'll lessen the burden and everything, and, you know, whatever, but
I'm just saying, what if they can't? What if,
Well, then they can't file their
Yeah.
application under this, then they don't have a business.
that's
but they
right.
own the property?
Well, that's fine, so they put it under their property name.
Good.
Hang on,
Yeah, yeah.
all
Yeah, they
right,
put it under their property name. then.
okay, hang on, you're gonna still be on discussion, go ahead, Ray.
I was just gonna say, you know, if it's not a business, I was gonna say the same thing, if it's not a business anymore, you know, they have to prove that they're still in business.
Well, yeah, that would be the DMV records and whatnot, that, or you are
Tax
doing
records or
tax
something or
records,
something.
whatever.
Bring
Correct.
something in,
LLC,
that says you're
yeah,
still in business.
Yeah, an LLC, yeah. Go ahead, Jane.
Pretty much what he said.
Okay. And,
Yes,
going forward down the road and everything, you and I will sit down. I've got information to give to you, so we can discuss this going further after April meeting is the Northeast Sand and Gravel Project. And the other one is, have you got a hold of, Brian, Virgin?
no, I haven't yet, no,
Okay,
but I'll make that note, I will. I know we discussed that, okay.
because he's done a good job.
Yeah, he's done a
And
good
and I
job,
think
I
it's time for him to, get the bond back.
Yeah.
There was one more thing I wanted to mention to you, but senior citizen moment. Anything else from the, commissioners?
No, from ZEO, that was ZEO.
Oh, well, no.
What?
You
No, I'm
got it.
finished.
You're good, okay.
I talked enough.
All right, now we move on to correspondence. Town of Douglas Planning Board legal notice, Davis Street Realty Trust, Town of Douglas Planning Board legal notice, review proposal on amend bylaws. 3, Town of Douglas Planning Board legal notice, scenic road application, and 4, NECOG, Town of Woodstock and P and Z subdivision regulations amendment. You said something about subdivisions earlier. Down the road, say it's not in June, maybe, end of May.
No,
middle of-
subcommittee.
Subcommittee, that's what I meant, subcommittee. Okay. Okay, signing of Mylar, none. Number 12, old business. Email Connecticut Planning Professional Yukon EDU training program. Does that fall under your realm
No,
or your realm?
Well,
Or
no,
your
this is-
realm?
This is what I received, and I believe I would, I believe I went on last, last Thursday, it was just about an hour, some more training programs from UConn, if anybody's interested. I believe everybody got the email, but I gave you the email here, so, and it's up to June 20th. So you got
June 20th?
an hour, yep, and if you go on it, please let me know. I have this big folder that I have to hopefully organize if I may, as to everybody, most of you now that you've attended these eight-hour sessions, you've done your qualification.
For the year or? Is it for
Pardon?
the 1 year, 8 hours, or is it?
I think it's 4 years.
It's,
All you needed was 4 hours,
I
so
think that was.
quite a few of you have,
We've done
Federation of
have already done it, yeah.
Association letter, and I had a question on that. It's,
No,
I read in, I think that's what I read it
I
in.
think it's 1 hour.
You have to get credit every 2 years. We were saying 1, but is it 4 hours in 2 years, not 4 hours in 1 year?
No, you had to have it done by January 24th if you were existing. New members have, Tom.
2 years. Is
If
2
you
years?
were already on the board, you had to have it done. It had to
But
be
going
into,
forward, I thought it's, I'm rather certain, I know I read it, and I think it was. in
Wait a
the-
minute. Hang on a minute.
that you had to get 4 hours every 2 years. And I'm not arguing with what you said about the early people.
right,
But from here
oh,
forward,
it's 4 hours
every 2
every
years.
2 years. Oh,
Did you
okay.
read that?
That's the way I
That's
understand.
the way
Okay.
I understood it too,
Thank you.
Randy.
Okay,
That's the way.
all right, so,
Yeah.
hey, you just gotta keep on continuing your education, guys.
Yeah, I mean, this commission has been excellent
Yeah.
about that.
Oh, yeah.
I,
Oh,
I would be very skeptical that there are other commissions in this state who are as actively pursuing their continuing ed as this one. You
But the
guys
report-
deserve a lot of credit.
The report has to be brought into the selectman's office because that's where it goes. It does not go anywhere in state. It goes into the head authority of the municipality, which would be the selectman.
Someone said you don't get paid if we don't do that.
Yeah. Sign me up for that one.
Just as a side note, because it was just fun doing it, because they named me the interim in the wetlands. And I already had a certificate from 2008. I went on UConn and I took it was an eight session training session. And I went on UConn and I redid it, and, you couldn't go to the next one until you got an 80. So you gotta keep on doing it. And it was very interesting. I'm not saying in that position, but it's always helpful to have all that education and to know a lot of, land use regulation.
My
and stuff.
question for that was, I thought originally, I thought it was from there forward that we needed to get 4 hours a year, but that, whatever that article was, stated 4 hours every 2 years.
2 years,
Mhm.
okay, all right.
I have a question on that then. So if we had to have our hours in by January 2024, what we just did should be for our.
Oh, the next 2
next
years.
one,
Yeah, if you already had your 8
Yeah,
hours.
start on the next.
Excuse me, if you already had your 4 hours,
Mhm.
yes, so that's why I need all that information. That folder is getting thicker
Yeah.
and thicker. And I'm sure the state is just, hounding every single municipality to make sure their commission members have their training. No.
It's not-
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
The most important thing they could. do.
Exactly.
Uh,
Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a quarter of a credit for that.
Thank you, Jim.
Anything else to ask the CEO? If not, we'll move on to the next item, number 15, everybody's favorite again, citizen comments. Anybody here that's left, if you want to make a comment, you're welcome to it. If not,
Valerie's got her hand up.
Valerie, you're up.
Valerie Clark, Elm Road. Um, thank you for considering my recommendation on checking on businesses, and I think if you're gonna put it, just if you're gonna consider putting it on the business to prove that they are a legitimate business, they should also have to prove that their licensing fees are current with the state. Because the state requires businesses to file application fees to renew every single year. Thank you.
Wrote it down, Valerie.
What's that, Mr. Hill?
Then a question would be, if somebody is absent or no longer in business, does the state notify?
Oh, yeah, the state usually puts out a list of who's delinquent and everything. Usually they have a delinquent list.
Oh, yeah, I could go on it, it's just.
No, I'm just saying, it's there, so you could, so if some guy walks in 3 years later and he's been delinquent, guess what?
Valerie's got her hand up.
Go ahead, Valerie.
Yep, just a comment on that is that the state will, if you don't renew, they will dissolve your business. And there are businesses in Thompson that have been dissolved and they're still running under their former business name. Thank you.
Give us a name?
Mr. Hill just asked, can you give us a name?
Yeah. Let's not open that.
Yeah, I know, that's a can of worms.
That's not a good idea.
Okay, there's nobody else, no hands up in the Zoom room. Okay, we go on to number 16. Whoop, I'm sorry.
Commissioner comments? Moving on.
No.
Commissioner comment.
Well, I was just gonna say Commissioner comments, you got ahead of me. Go ahead, Commissioner comments.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Tara, when was the Ag Commission meeting? And where I'm going with this is, so that OAG thing, might it be better to have that at the,
Oh, you mean
Ag Commission
when is the
meeting?
next Ag Commission meeting?
yeah,
I didn't bring my,
I was thinking
Calendar.
of options for them as well as trying to lay.
they have to,
for-
they have to be done before May. Or by May 11th, so it wouldn't be before then anyway.
It's May 29th is our next one.
Yeah, so that's past their
It
deadline.
won't work.
And the one other thing would be to suggest that if they're looking for a date, is recommend the Woodstock Ag Commission meeting. I know that they hold theirs monthly.
Oh, they do?
Do you know what night, day?
Theirs is at noon time.
Oh.
On whatever day.
She seemed to suggest that the kids would go during the school day too, so I will,
I imagine they'd be thrilled to get out of class.
Oh,
I would. I'll, when I follow up with
Yeah.
her tomorrow, I'll bring it up.
Just suggestions.
Sure,
Thank you.
sure, I guess I own this baby now, so.
Sorry, Tara.
It's all right, guys. I just had it
I
to
didn't
list.
mean.
you love the workload. Go ahead, Mr. Santos.
Cindy, I think JBO asked us a moment ago and I might have missed it, but the 347 Riverside Drive, previous gravel mining pit, we were gonna chase the bond recovery on that.
Yes, John has been working on that.
Even though,
The northeast end of
347.
gravel.
It is-
Yeah, I got all the, I
It's
chased the
fixed.
paperwork.
maybe it's not 347.
No, it's not 347.
It's,
but I know where you're talking about sand and gravel.
Yeah.
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 John has been working on that.
Okay, and then one final question, just so I'm clear, the Rachel Drive property that we're gonna review on April 22nd. The application was submitted, so we have 60 days to review that, so on April 22nd, we can't extend that, right? We're gonna have to make a decision.
Unless we
that
have the applicant's permission. If we keep the public hearing open, we have to have the applicant's permission.
And,
But we're 50, I think it was 56 days. From.
For that date?
For,
night.
yeah,
No, from the submission date.
so
Yeah.
from the submission date,
Okay.
it was, I
We would have
counted.
to after the second.
Yes, yes.
I just wanna make sure I'm prepared for that. in case I have to go.
Yes, yes.
Should be from the.
Cause,
Yeah, no,
To-
I realize that.
to what you just asked. I chasing everything, okay,
Yeah.
what is needed. And I'll tell you is, you guys are not gonna like it, but we need to wait till after we get past the April meeting with the big number coming up. And then we can pursue this, you know, how to pursue this, because I think it's gonna involve, oh, by the way. It's gonna avoid.
Are you talking about the bond or Rachel Drive?
No, no,
The
no,
bond?
no, no, the bond
Yeah.
of this one here.
Yeah.
No, but the one for, the bond that was on this one, that where we was brought.
Yep.
About the 1,500, I got the information on that, and there's nothing we can do about it, but that's something I mentioned to her, but I think this commission needs to know. That going forward, we have to figure out how we can have it put into the bank, because what happened was it was Northeast Sand and Gravel, and then it was the town of Thompson. So as soon as because it was considered the primary, so state of Massachusetts walked right in and said, okay, here's the levy and all this stuff. This is the money that's all from, Mr. John Mercia, right?
Yes.
Okay,
But we own the bond. We can take this
the
off.
town owns the bond.
Not on the agenda.
Last year.
I know, we'll talk afterward.
No,
Say
but
that.
I'm
I can
just
help with that
saying,
situation.
the information that I gathered and everything that, you know, this and talk to the persons up in the finance office and everything. I asked them, you know,
All right.
I was just asking questions
Yeah,
because
give me
this
up-
is
sit
something,
with me afterward.
this is something we have to look at going forward. And I think that's, I'm not 100% sure. Nope. No, can't.
I'll speak with the commissioner afterwards, that's all.
Yes, you can, but
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to get clarification on his statement, that's all.
okay, I mean, anything outside
do
of the
that.
parking lot, that's fine.
No.
All right, the other thing is that Mr. Blackburn, Mr. Rice, and also Mr. Word, we're gonna get that situation corrected with the, Planning and Zoning Confederation, this man here, because when they had people that got up into 44 years notification, you know, that they did 44, 38, and this. I wasn't very pleased, so I just talked to him and he kind of agreed with me, we're gonna look into it, so. We got a man here that's sitting here, that's got 50 years. So he deserves some good notification.
Feeling good?
Oh.
Yeah. As you say to be your school and taking nourishment, right?
That's right.
There you go.
You got something to say?
Name him.
No.
Oh.
All right, anybody else got anything to say, commissioners? Go ahead, Mr. Williams.
I just want to say for them classes that we took, you know, they are very informative. And it's good that the town reimburses us and, you know, and sends us to these classes because
Little beneficial.
it opens up a lot, you know, different way of thinking when this stuff comes up.
Go ahead, Mr. Robbins.
Oh, I didn't know, it's like,
Oh, you had your hand up a little bit, so I.
oh, no.
Okay, no, you faithful. All right, if there's nothing else to be discussed with commissioner comments, go to item 17. Next meeting is Monday, April 22nd, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the town, at the library. And, do I have a motion to close the meeting?
I make that motion.
Ben Dalton makes the motion, seconded, who seconds?
Right here, buddy.
Brian, all agree?
Aye.
Okay. Adjourned at 8. Hey, you're going home early, Mr. Blackburn, it's only 8:24.
You done good.
Well, I didn't have.